Kerry Boulton is Australia's most respected exit strategy advisor and CEO of the Exit Strategy Group. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Dale Beaumont and welcome to Secrets Exposed. This is the show that takes you up close and personal with world-leading business experts. And our topic for this interview is how to sell your business for the best possible price. That coming up in just a moment. My special guest today is leading business advisor Kerry Boulton, and our topic for this interview is how to successfully sell your business for the best possible price. Kerry, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Dale. Thank you.
So tell me about your business career and some of the success that you've had over that time.
I'll start at the beginning. 16-year-old in the workforce as a secretary back then.
Right.
Self-educated pretty much, alongside the best people I could possibly find to learn from. And finally, one day, an opportunity presented itself for me to have my own business.
And what age were you then?
Well, I was then 20 years down the track, so...
Okay, a little while.
A little while, but I had been through a number of different industries and
so you had
certainly learned a lot. Some great experiences, actually, and moved interstate for work as well as at that point. I suppose
there's a point there, you can start a business at any age.
You can, absolutely. Well, at this time, I'd actually risen to a level in a corporate, which was MAN Nicholas Ltd, and I was the first female general manager in that organisation.
Great.
Running an international freight forwarding business. When they decided, looking strategically ahead, they wanted to be out of the business. So I put up my hand and said, I'd like to buy the business. And so that was the beginning of the first of my businesses.
Okay, so you're working for the business, you're the general manager, and you basically said, I'm going to buy the business. Now, if I could ask the question, how did you fund the business? Did you have that amount of money sitting in your bank account willing to pay?
Nothing. This was it. Zero.
Okay. Well, you've got to tell us that story
because
there's people watching this that are going to go, how did you do it?
Sure. It is actually a really interesting story, especially when you look back. The business plans that you write when you're in a corporate organisation are not the business plans you have to write to actually go out and find investors. And one of the things that I learned from a book back then, which was called How to Write Plans That Win Dollars, had just been released, written by Stanley Rich and David Gumpert from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And I got hold of the book, I read the book from cover to cover in 24 hours, and I wrote my plan exactly by the book, because I did have to get investors. So you went
to the investors and you basically said, hey guys, I know how to run this business and I've been doing it for X number of years and they're getting out and I think there's an opportunity here.
Yes.
And how many investors did you have?
Started with four. Four at the time.
And were these people that you knew? Were they sort of...
I was very fortunate, yes. I went to a mentor, which of course is another really important person to have in your life. I went to a mentor who said to me, Kerry, you write the plan. If you can convince me, I'll help you get the money together. Fantastic. And that's exactly what he did.
So you got the money together. You went to the people that had owned the business, bought them out. What happened next?
63 staff, 5 offices around Australia.
This is what you had, or this is what you grew it into?
That's what I had.
Okay.
Instantly.
63 staff?
Yes.
And how many offices?
5 offices.
5 offices.
And 120 international agents.
And now you're responsible for everything?
Correct. And I gave birth to my first child the day I had to sign the contract.
Why not?
Which women will appreciate, of course.
Yes.
So,
So what happened in those first couple of years?
The first couple of years were incredible through every possible upheaval you could imagine, because this was 1987. Black Friday, world stock markets crashed, and we had tragedy. Unfortunately, one of my state managers was killed at a car accident. We had ramping interest rates that were up around 18, 19, 20%, in terms of finance costs. So it was enormous. We had a roller coaster ride, basically, up and down, up and down. The beginning and the end of my business plan worked out exactly as I'd planned, which was the first experience of having to have an exit plan. having to have an exit strategy. So one of the things I learnt was, particularly if you have investors, they have to find a way, they have to know how to get the money out of the business. So part of my thinking back then was, when I was going to buy the business, how were we going to exit the business? And the plan was to sell it off to an international group somewhere between the 5 and the 10-year mark, and that's what happened. But along the way, it was really a roller coaster, like every other business.
Yes.
We went through, we won a Small Business Award, actually. We went through the Telstra Small Business Awards and won a Small Business Award. Went through the whole quality movement, continuous improvement, which was outstanding, and I would still highly recommend that as systems and processes is what we call it today, understanding what continuous improvement is all about. That sounds like corporate speak, cross-functional teams, but of course, you know, people in 5 states around Australia all having to work together, plus your overseas agents, everyone has to work together. We found, by implementing those proper systems and processes, we found leakages, profit leakages that were happening, costs that we were incurring that we got rid of. So we really turned the business around. I think in 1 year we had about a $1.5 million turnaround, which was amazing.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we can probably talk a whole bunch more about that business, but let's just get to the topic, how to sell your business for the best possible price. So what happened with that business? You sold it how many years later? You said between 5 and 10, 9 years later.
9.
And can I ask either what did you sell it for, or was it a success in terms of the original money the investors put in? Did they see a return? Were they happy, and were you happy?
I would say that there were a lot of learning experiences in that process.
Yes.
We were happy in the end. Well, look, that wasn't multi-millions. I'd love to say that it was. But we got our money, we got a return on our investment.
Yes.
And it gave us cash flow over the 9 years. The most important part of that changeover really was that everyone had a job.
Yeah.
That was the most important part.
Fantastic.
But me.
And you've also done it again. We won't talk too much about the second one, but this is not something that you've just done once. You've then done it in another industry, a real estate business as well.
Yeah.
And you also, did you buy that business, or did you start it from scratch?
That business was a startup, actually. A startup, yeah.
And how many years later till you exited that business?
That was 96 to 2007, so 11 years.
11 years.
Yeah,
okay.
11 years. And that was a multi-million dollar bottom line return. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. All right. So I'm sure that's what people want watching this particular video, either buying a business and increasing the value, or starting a business from scratch and then exiting it for millions of dollars. So let's now talk about, why do people sell their business?
People will sell their businesses for all sorts of different reasons. It can be that was the original strategy, which in fact was mine. It can be that they have had enough and they just want to get out.
Yeah.
It can also be that they want a return on their investment and they want to get changed. They want to change. They want to get into something new again. Just reap the rewards of something that they've created and over time. But you know, there's so many different reasons that people actually want to get out. But mostly it's about a return on investment.
Absolutely. And talking about statistics in terms of the baby boomer population, which now makes up the biggest kind of demographic, a lot of them will be retiring in the next sort of 5 to 10 years, correct? And there will be thousands, millions of businesses sold in the next few years.
Dale, it's a tsunami of business sales. That's what's coming, no matter where you are. It is absolutely coming. You can't avoid the fact that there's this great big bubble that is the baby boomer generation, and the majority of businesses are owned by private businesses. More than half are owned by baby boomers. No matter where you are in the world, those statistics hold up.
Yeah.
So it is coming. And this is I've been starting to crow about and saying to people, start to get your business ready, because there aren't too many that are ready now. Even if you really have a good, strong, viable business, unless it's managed for sale, you won't maximise what you can get from it at all.
So I suppose people can get value out of this interview in one of two ways. One is that they maybe do want to sell their business for the best possible price, because there are millions of baby boomers around the world that will be doing exactly that. And you may be one of them, or you might be younger and you've just started a business but you want to get out. Or not everyone will be watching this video, so you can learn all these strategies and then use them against somebody else for buying a business as well from one of those people that are looking to get out, that maybe hasn't unfortunately educated themselves in the same way that you are right now. So you're going to get a whole bunch of strategies in this interview, and you can use them either way.
If you don't have a copy of Kerry's new book, The Uncensored Truth About Exit Strategies, please visit freeexitstrategybook.com.au.